We can begin now. Hello. What's going on, everybody? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to yell at you there. How's it all going? I got a fresh cup of coffee. We got a new background tonight. Isn't this exciting? Live on location from the newly renovated Airbnb. Wow, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so excited that you can join me tonight as we talk about how I blew my budget on this thing. We're going to get into that and some more things as the night goes on. But first, I want to say hi to everyone as I sip my coffee. I hope you're drinking something tonight. Coffee would be good. Oh, so good. All right. Hey, everyone. We are live. Hi, if you're watching this for the first time live, I'm glad you can be here. And we're going to be talking tonight about how I went over my budget, what everything in this kitchen costs me, and how you can avoid making the same mistakes I did. And earlier this week, I sent out an email to my email list talking about 15 ways that you can avoid going over the budget on your kitchen renovation. And so I'm going to share those tips tonight, chat about those things in a little bit. But I really am excited to be here tonight because this is a huge deal for Amy and I, and because we finally got this thing up on Airbnb. And there's a link in the description below that you can check out and see this wonderful place. And a huge shout out to my dad, because without his, it's more than help. I don't even know what the right word is. Without him being here, this wouldn't even be possible. So huge shout out to him. It is finally time to start making some money from this place instead of spending money and going over budget. But it's just the way that renovations go. You can't help it sometimes. And but you know, finally glad to be here. So let me pull my chair in a little bit. Yeah, quartz is what finally pushed me over our budget. Well, that is probably the number one way that you'd go over any budget, is to go with some kind of stone. And you can see here we didn't. We just went with laminate, but it's perfect for what we need it for. So let's get into this tonight. I'm excited just to share with you some of the details, and or maybe I'm not excited. I'm not sure. I'm excited to be here, but I'm not excited to show you some of the numbers because, well, you know, of all the people in the world on YouTube who should be able to stick to, you know, a budget when it comes to a kitchen renovation, it should be me. But I didn't. It didn't work at all. Let's jump into this tonight. And if you're jumping in the chat, just say hi. Tell us where you're watching from. If you have a question about anything, whether it's kitchen budget related or anything to do with kitchen renovations or kitchen functionality, put a few question marks before it and drop it in the chat. And myself and other people will be glad to jump on that and chat with you and talk to you about it or answer your question. If we see it, hopefully we will. And I see a bunch of new people just saying hi for the first time. So thank you so much. Stacy, first time caught you live. Awesome. And yes, Luz, Markley, nice for you to be here. Finally caught you live. Woohoo. Awesome. All right. And you know what? Yes, there's a mirror back there in the kitchen. Phil, thanks for pointing that out. All right, let's jump into this. Why a mirror in the middle of the kitchen? It's not in the middle of the kitchen. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take heat for a mirror. Okay, I'm down with that. It's no problem. I had to hang something there, and a mirror is what went, so it's all good. How much overhang is on that peninsula? Oh, we're not going to talk about that because I went against my rules. I don't know. There's about 13, 15 inches there, something like that. I didn't measure my lap on that one. All right, let's jump into the numbers. So I'm going to break down everything that this kitchen cost me, and we'll go from there. So let's just jump in. You can guess along the way if you want, but first we're going to start out with the cabinetry. And I bought these cabinets from Home Depot. They're called Euro style. They're only available in Canada, but they are a flat packed, ready to assemble cabinet. The point of this whole renovation was to do this as inexpensive as possible while still making it look beautiful, nice. And we didn't want to go, you know, really, really expensive with anything because this is a rental property at the end of the day. So we wanted to be good quality, but we didn't want to break the bank too much. And so these are Euro style cabinets ready to assemble, but they're full extension drawers, soft close on everything. And they are, you know, 3/4 inch gables, floors. So they're pretty good quality, and they are on legs, which is nice. You can see them in some of the shorts I'm doing lately. And, pretty soon I'll have a full renovation video where I'm assembling them and all that stuff. I filmed everything. So let's jump and do this one. Let's go. Numbers. Cabinets. So all the kitchen cabinets that you see here, oh, that's not it. All these kitchen cabinets. So I got a pantry, fridge cabinet, all the peninsula, the cabinets over by the range. Everything costs me $2,538, which is a pretty good deal for a fair size kitchen. It's not super, super small. It's not massive, but it is a, nice medium sized kitchen, and 24 drawers or 16 drawers altogether. When we count them up. So there's lots of storage, lots of functionality for whoever's going to be, staying here. And this is what it cost me to purchase these cabinets. Again, these are Home Depot. And these are all prices before tax. So in Canada, there's a 15% government sales tax. And that's not included on this. So this is before tax. This is what we're getting, $2,530. Let's go to the next one, which is the cabinet doors. So something important to know is that I bought the cabinets, but I didn't buy doors because myfrontandcenter.com was supplying me with doors. And you've seen me talk about those in my last Saturday video. I've chatted about it a little bit on the live stream before as well. So they reached out to me. We came up with an arrangement where they would send me cabinet doors for my kitchen. And in exchange that I, give my honest opinion about the quality of the door, the company, the order process, and all that stuff. So there's some content that's coming up the pipeline, basically, where I'm just kind of sharing some of that information. So essentially, the doors cost me $0. But if I had to pay for the doors, this is what it would have cost me to purchase them. $49.54. But I didn't put that in my total because I didn't pay for them. And so huge shout out to myfrontandcenter.com. There is a link in the description to that you can go there. If you're purchasing cabinet doors, you can get 20% off with my code Tobin20. So that's something just to keep in mind if you're going down that road. So the doors cost me $0. So far I'm only in this for under $3,000, but it keeps going. Let's keep on moving here. So next is countertop. Now, I also got my countertop from Home Depot, and I went with a laminate, just a regular, not a special, super laminate, just a regular laminate. And it cost me $980. So that's with cuts. It's with a bigger, bar top for this peninsula behind me. And that's what that would. Now, why'd I go with this and not something like quartz or stone or something like that? Well, one, if I'm going to do something like that, I would want some company to help me out, basically in exchange for content. And that just never happened. Maybe in the future it will, but right now it hasn't. And so I went with laminate because it is less expensive. And really, it's easy to replace. And it's fairly durable for, what you're going to be doing with it. There's not going to be a lot of cooking happening in this place. It's not going to be something that's, there's going to be a lot of great big meals unless there's some long-term rental through Airbnb. But it's called, it's just Carrera Marble is the name of the laminate, and it's just through Home Depot. I think it's, I don't know if it's Formica or Wilson Art. I can't remember. But $980, which isn't bad. Isn't bad for laminate. All right, let's go. I see people talking about the healthcare. We get free healthcare, yeah, but nobody has a doctor. All right, the next thing is the hardware. I went with a simple, basic hardware. I got these at Home Depot as well. The Home Depot is not sponsoring this video. They didn't do anything for me other than I shop there amongst other places, but I happen to get a lot of these things at Home Depot. The handles cost me $60, which is a steal of a deal. I don't know if you've been pricing hardware recently, but kitchen hardware is very expensive. I mean, it's just outrageous, the price of hardware, but they had these bulk packs that were $20. And so I bought 3 of them, and that's what it was. It's just a 3-inch handle. Maybe I'll go get you one. Hold on. Let me go get the door. Stay right there. All right, here they are. Here's the doors. Oh, there's the doors too. Maybe I'll show you these while I'm at it. All right. These are the handles, just a 3-inch center. Normally not what I'd go for, but I went with 3-inch center on this just because, again, the price was right. So this is a 3-inch center. My probably favorite handle size would be a 96 mil or 128 mil. Be careful when you're buying handles that are really large, because later on down the road, if you do want to replace those, it'd be a little more challenging to find a replacement maybe that you like, because there's way more options with the smaller sizes. But whatever. So I went with those, and this is the door style. It's called thin line shaker. If you see my video Saturday, you've seen this a little bit, but this is just a coated door. It's an MDF core, and it's just thermoplastic and coated. So really nice satin finish, sage green, and it's a one-piece shaker. So you don't have any of that groove in here. So it's easy to clean, easy to wipe down, and we wanted something like that. So, regular Bloom, 110-degree hinge, all that jazz. So let me just throw this back on there. Hold on. Can't get the door back on. Not while I'm live. Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, embarrassing. All right. That's all good. So that's the handles. You know what? I didn't say the hinges, because I bought the hinges separately. All right, we'll have to amend the total, but the hinges cost me $123, something like that. And they are what's called a toolless hinge. So a toolless hinge does not have, they are soft close. A toolless hinge does not have screws that screw it into the door. They press in, and there's you push down this kind of lever, and it like locks it into place. So it's super easy to take off, and really easy to install. So toolless hinges, and everything's soft close. All right, $60 for the handles. This is a good one. Appliances. You'd be like, what's $1,900 for appliances? Tell me more. Well, let's see. 12 minutes away from skiing. Yeah, well, snow. I guess you could go water skiing. Probably both, but there's a ski hill 12 minutes away. But not like Park City. Not at all, actually. All right, appliances. Let's just take a look here. You can see behind me. I keep doing that. So we have this fridge. We have a range. So the fridge, the range, and the dishwasher cost $1,900. They were a sale that was on Best Buy. Amy spotted it. We pounced on it, and that's nothing. Here. There you go. That's nothing for appliances. It's basically next to nothing. So we got a great deal on the appliances for sure. They were on sale, and they came with a free set of pots and pans. So, what else are you going to say, right? So that's pretty good. So the appliances cost $1,900, and this is a 24-inch range, 30-inch range, 24-inch refrigerator, and a 24-inch dishwasher. Okay, let's keep going with these though. All right, then I bought small appliances. So you can see a little Keurig there behind me somewhere. There's also a little microwave over there, and there's a kettle, and there's a toaster, and they only cost me $230. The Keurig probably being the most expensive of those, but definitely something you want to have, I think, in a rental or an Airbnb, because you got to have coffee. I think Keurig's the way to go, because you can put the pot in, it's easy. And this coffee is really good too, by the way. All right, let's go to the next one. So $230 isn't bad for kind of the essential small appliances. You should have a toaster, a microwave, obviously you need to have, and some coffee and some way to boil water if you want to have tea. So, you're right about that. At least it's not an OTR. Oh my. All right, let's keep going. So backsplash tile, if you can see, oh, I went the wrong way. You can see behind me there, there's some backsplash tile just behind the range hood. I don't know. That's just all I wanted to do. It cost me $45. And, I guess not including the grout and some of the mortar that's with the miscellaneous stuff. But not a bad deal for some tiles. Tiles are pretty cheap and just gives it a little bit of a, a nice clean look on the backsplash. Maybe in the future we'll put some more tile on the bottom, but I just like that kind of minimal kind of look to it. My sink is $299, which actually was on sale. I got it like $60 off. The sink is a Blanco single bowl stainless steel, top mount sink, because it's just the easiest thing to do with laminate countertop. The sink, it's not a double size, it's a single, but it's a larger single. So it's a nice size single sink for what we want to do here. And the reason I went with it, I was going to get a workstation sink, but the cheapest one I could find was like $500. And we're starting to like push the limits of what, we wanted to put in this place. So I think if I was going to buy a workstation sink, I would probably purchase it for my own home instead of a rental property where it probably wouldn't get the use that would warrant the price. So we went with a single. It's a nice single though. And you could have put it on the bus. Helen shipped it down. All right, so that's what we paid for the sink. The faucet is a Moen, and I recommend Moen because one, they're really good quality, and two, they have an awesome warranty. They're super easy to deal with. Even if you can't get any service from the store you bought them from, or they go out of business for some reason, you can call Moen and they'll send you parts. It's really simple to do, and they're really good for doing that. And like, a cartridge, or if you need O-rings for something or whatever, even if it's, the little filter that goes in the aerator filter, anything like that, or a handle or whatever, even a set screw that you lose when you're tightening, you can get all that stuff really simple, easily from Moen. And so we definitely want to go with a Moen. So $219 is what we spent on the faucet, which is a fair price for a faucet. They range from that to, $500-600. So I think we got a good deal on a, nice, pull out spray faucet. Done deal. Can you see it over there? I guess you can. Kind of? No, you can't. Oh, well. All right, the lights, $200. This is these lights up here behind me. These pendant lights. I don't know. I just walked through Home Depot again, seen those, and I was like, oh, they look kind of different. And so I got them. The problem with them, though, is that they don't stay turned one way. They kind of turn a little bit. So it's actually turned the wrong way. But I'm going to keep them. The other problem is I did bang my head on the corner of one already. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them, but I'm probably going to keep them because I think they look pretty cool. But that's one of the things that bugs me, is that it kind of twists a little bit. But they're really beautiful. Here, I'll turn it on. Stay put. There. I don't want to leave it on because it kind of like is right behind my head, and so they cost me $200. And then there's these little pot lights that you can't really see, but there's some pot lights up in the ceiling over the range and stuff like that, and they are included in that price. Okay, how are we doing? We doing good? All right, let's go. Yeah, I'll put that in the Airbnb listing. You must be 5'6" or 5'7" in order to rent here. All right, let's go. Let's go flooring. So here's the deal. You can kind of see the flooring. Wait, no. There you go. You can see the flooring. Where are we at? Over here? Okay. That flooring is a laminate, like a regular click flooring. And I bought it for it's for the whole house except for the bathroom. So the whole house has this in it, but this portion is for the square footage of the kitchen. So I broke it down. So I would have paid about $420. Again, I got a pretty good deal. I got it from a local place here in town, from a guy I went to school with, actually, and he has a business where he sells flooring and millwork and stuff like that. So that's good. Try to support local when you can. So $420 for flooring. That's the underlay and stuff like that. Okay. So far, so good. Oh yeah. Back to the light. Could you make the pen? Yeah, I could, but The problem is it might look silly because it's too high to the ceiling. So I think the length is right in terms of what it's supposed to be. It's just that when you lean over too far, you can kind of bang your head. But maybe you're right, Phil. It might be because the wood part comes down too far. All right, let's keep going. So flooring's $420. These stools are great. I got these at a local hardware store. They were $60 each. I got 4 of them, and they assembled nicely. And so there's some stools there. So this table that I got set up here, which you can't really see, this is like a fold-down table. I got this at IKEA. It's basically a desk actually, but that has the 2 leaves on it, and it folds up into a table. And I got some chairs, and I have 4 seats here. So if you're staying here and you want to, sit down for a meal, you have something you can do that with. And if you want to hang out there and have a coffee or whatever, chill out on your computer, you can do that as well. So a little bit of versatility. Plus I got, there's also a living room and all that kind of thing. So yeah, kinda, kinda. That's one of the other reasons I was thinking about replacing them, because yeah, the light, it just blocks the light, sort of. I mean, the light, emits, but it's not task lighting. So, you're on to me. I might do something with that. We'll see what happens. Some things are like afterthoughts where you're like, oh, never really thought about that. They just looked really cool when I was putting them up. Then when I banged my head on it and realized, oh, it kind of does block the light a little bit. Anyway, if you bang your head, a renter might, and you could be inviting trouble with it. Oh yeah. Oh, the Americans and they're taking me to court. It's a good point, actually. Maybe okay, I'm going to be changing the lights. Let's just go with that. Okay, onto the cutlery. The cutlery, which you could stab yourself and sue me with that too, I guess. $120. I got it at IKEA. I got a few sets of cutlery, forks and spoons and knives and, all that kind of stuff. So that cost me $120. I should have included these mugs, which I didn't. So there's a few ancillary things that I missed when I was doing this, but that just gives you a basic idea of what I paid for cutlery in this place. I know cutlery has nothing to do with the kitchen in terms of what you budget for, but I just want to put everything in there that I spent for the kitchen, including the kitchen itself, just so that there's lots of Americans here. So that's fine. What was I saying? Cutlery. Yeah, I didn't include like everything, but I wanted to include as much as I could. All right, labor. So this is a big one because in a regular renovation experience, you're going to probably be paying labor. I estimate that just to install this kitchen would cost about $2,400 if I was going to pay somebody to do it. I'm guessing over 2 to 3 days. I did this myself, and so of course I didn't pay labor. Of course, my time is valuable, but in terms of just dollar value straight out of my pocket, this didn't cost me anything. Yeah, they are incredibly low, but I still blew my budget. Yeah, and Dad works for free as well. So, we did a lot of work, and it was all by ourselves, everything. So. All right. So, but I would assume that's around what I would have paid, I guess, if I was paying an installer, if I was going to do this. Probably, it could be probably a little bit more than that, but that would be at least. Paint. I got this beautiful paint color. It's called Rhinestone Strass, and it's from Sherwin-Williams. And it's an eggshell finish. We painted the whole interior upstairs with that, except for the bedrooms. And so that cost me about $120 for a couple gallons of paint. Of course, paint, goes everywhere. You put it on another wall. So that would be around what I paid for the paint, $120. The blinds. Can you see the blinds? Those blinds there. So I got those blinds at a local hardware store, and they cost me $114. So not a bad price for blinds, actually. I priced it a one-piece blind, and it cost, it was on sale actually for half price, and it was like 400 and some odd dollars. So it was quite a bit expensive for a blind. I don't know. I just didn't want to spend that kind of money. So I got these blinds. I cut them to fit myself, installed them, and they look fabulous. And they are light blocking. So $114 isn't too bad for some blinds for the kitchen, if you ask me. All right, miscellaneous. This is kind of low, but there's electrical, there's wiring, there's outlets, there's all the stuff that is plumbing, and all the stuff that goes with the plumbing, the dishwasher hookup kit, and the P traps, and the pipes for under the sink, and the lines for your water, and just all that stuff. There's all kinds of just ancillary things, trim on the window, and so miscellaneous about $800, but probably could be a lot more than that, really, if you think, if I really sat down and went through my receipts, which I should have brought over here tonight, but I didn't. I probably would be spending more like $1,000 to maybe $1,500, but I just kind of picked a number and we went with those. So $800 for miscellaneous. So that brings us to a total. So your blinds, what? So your blinds are like your lights? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Garbage disposal? No. We don't do garbage disposal here in terms of a hookup to the sink. It's not something very many people would do. So no garbage disposal, just a garbage can, which I got at Walmart. Yeah, for like $20. That's in miscellaneous. But garbage disposal isn't something that we have a lot of around where I live, at least. So, okay. Let's go. Let's go to the next one. So my budget for this kitchen was $6,500. And you're like, $6,500? Like that doesn't even buy countertop for most kitchens. But I was priding myself on the fact that I was trying to get this kitchen installed for the least amount of money as possible, to do as much work or all the work. That was really basically, we weren't hiring anybody. So we were doing all the work ourselves. $6,500 was what I wanted to put into this. I knew I was getting doors for, nothing. I knew I was doing the installation myself. So I was saving, probably another $8,000, probably doing that. So it's super low budget. But here's the thing. I only had $13,000 to spend on the whole house. And we had a bathroom to completely gut and renovate. We gutted the entire upstairs. You've seen some of the videos if you've watched the videos. We ripped this thing apart. Every room, there's not one room we didn't touch and completely transform. So I only had $13,000 to do that. And the funny thing was, and you may have heard me tell this story before, is that when we purchased this house, and a week later we went to Costa Rica for a month, and my dad was here working away. And when I got back, one of the first things he said to me after welcome home was, "You can forget about your budget on this one, bud." I was like, okay, no problem. But there's nothing to worry about. We will carry on. So, I didn't have that big of a budget. So to think I could do this whole place for 13 grand was kind of silly, but that's what we're working with. So that's where it is. That's what it is. 6,500. What I spent, 85.23. So I was over my budget by 25.23, almost, $2,500 over budget. And, what do? However, I mean, even that would hardly get anybody a kitchen these days, but I'm pretty happy that I got a kitchen for even this amount. Again, with the doors and with paying labor, this would probably be a $15,000 job, which for a rental like this is probably fairly reasonable, in my opinion, for my location, where I live in the world, and the cost of things, and what I paid for this house, and all that kind of stuff. So, so that's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not happy with these mirror comments. I don't understand what the big problem is. Could have saved $23 by not buying that mirror. That mirror was $99 actually, Phil. Thank you very much. Just to this side of the mirror is the doorway downstairs and a doorway to the outside. So it's, you're on your way out, you check yourself in the mirror, make sure you're looking dapper, and you head on out. And so that's why I put a mirror there. All right. So leave it alone. Okay. No more mirror comments. What is on the wall next to the window? Do you mean like that? That's a cabinet. That's a cabinet, wall cabinet. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. The thing you have to deal with, and Jackie would know, being on YouTube, is that some people don't like things. They don't like your barn door. They don't like your mirror, and they say stuff. You just got to be able to deal with that, Be like, it's okay. I'm getting all the mirror comments. I love you, Luke. Yeah. Well, there you go. Bounces light. I can look at myself, which is fun, I guess. And it's all good. 30% over budget. Bad budget. Yeah. Well, that's true too. It wasn't a reasonable budget. Jennifer, what is a reasonable budget for a home, not a rental kitchen remodel nowadays? Okay. A drawer microwave worth the price. Are drawer microwaves worth the price? That's a good question. Let's talk about microwaves for a minute, and then I'll keep going on to what I want to talk about. But yeah, a reasonable budget for a home. I don't know. I think they say like 15% of the value of your home, maybe, or I think that sounds reasonable. Somebody can Google that. What are they saying about that? Is it 15% of the value? So if my home is, $300,000, and the $30,000 kitchen would seem reasonable in that space. So yeah, you can check that out. A drawer microwave is worth the price. It's a microwave. I paid like $90 for this thing behind me. It's just a microwave. I have a real problem with microwaves because I don't know. I just think, one, I've said this before, they're going out. Give Elon Musk about 10 years and he'll figure out a solution to that. And it's just one of those things that, I don't know. Are they that necessary? I bought one here because it's a rental and you gotta have a microwave apparently, but I don't like them. And that is what it is. So is it worth the price? I don't know. I like the fact that it's in a base cabinet and you can pull it out, which is good. You can, take stuff out. It depends on what the price is. And that's a hard one. I can't really say, but I'm going to say no. But that's not even a real answer. What's Phil saying? He doesn't like microwaves when he pays more for a mirror than a microwave. Oh, hilarious. I totally disagree with your microwave assessment. I would put a lot of money on this. Well, some people, microwaves are important, and for others, they're not. For me, it's just not important. But some people use their microwave every single day. It's a really important part of, their daily life. And so for that matter, if you're going to be using it all the time, you should get one that's a good quality and that's easy to use and that you enjoy. On the other hand, if you don't use them very often and it's a big expense for a big piece of real estate in your kitchen, then, maybe you consider not going that way. So that's all. But I know that microwaves are a necessity for a lot of people. Jackie's saying microwaves are a necessity. I have a tiny one, 13 inches from Whirlpool. Yeah, we've seen this one before. In the basement. Okay. And my compact Whirlpool OTR in the kitchen. So Jackie's got two microwaves, so she can reheat her tea numerous times. I should go reheat this tea in the microwave right now, actually, while we're chatting. But I'm not going to, just for spite. I'll drink it cold and lukewarm. It doesn't matter. Les looked it up maybe, or just knows 15%. So that's about the price of your kitchen. So I think if you're in and around that for a new kitchen, that would be fairly reasonable. In other words, with 15% of the value of your home going into a kitchen, then when you sell that home, I think you'd probably get a good return on your investment. However, If it's maybe your forever home, you're going to be there forever or for a very, very, very long time, maybe that it doesn't matter so much. You might want to invest more into that kitchen to get it exactly functioning and looking the way you want it. So that's just a basic number, but I don't know if there's a right number. There might just be a right number if you're trying to sell the home. For us, if we were going to sell this place, I did really well with this kitchen, certainly in terms of the price. You can put a small countertop microwave in a pantry or deep cabinet. Yeah, if you don't like the look of them, I think it's something you need these days, but I understand that the same for them. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I mean, most people absolutely like these, but yeah, and you can put them in a cabinet like that, but you should have an outlet in that cabinet. So just that'd be something to make sure you have. And I think also if an outlet is hidden, there's probably some code that you have to obey with that too. So make sure that if you do decide to or plan on doing that, that you check, the building codes to make sure that you have the right type of, hookup for that. I think it has to be on its own, like breaker dedicated, but that could be varying from state to state, province to province, depending on what it is. Michael Blair Mercer, what's up, my man? I did a kitchen for 18,000, appliances included. I'm sure you'll want to show your design. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Mike did a kitchen, and I took a picture of it, and we helped design it, and we got a great before and after. So hopefully, I can get in there, Mike, sometime and do the video, so we can have a look from start to finish. So very good. So what else do I have for my slides here? So my budget. Oh yeah. So my budget was that. So that was it. So well, I'll get into some more content, but let's just look at some more questions. Does that remodel cost? Yeah, replacing the major appliances. So that's a good question. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I think the appliances would be separate. The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of times if you're selling the house, you'd take those with you. Sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the times you would. And so maybe I don't think someone can look that up too. I'm pretty sure the cost of remodeling your kitchen doesn't include that. But that's a good question. I can't be sure with it. I don't know if I'm right. So, all right, let's keep going. Lots of comments. This is awesome. Then in a few minutes, we'll jump into some of the mistakes you can avoid, and we'll talk through some of those. But I love going through the chat, so let's just stay here for a minute. Love the Green Island, looking at remodeling here with intention to sell. What about white cabinets with black quartz countertops? That sounds awesome, actually. Can't go wrong with white cabinets. You'll notice I didn't do white cabinets here, obviously. They're sage green, and I got this dune color back here. And I'm glad I didn't, actually. I really like this color green. I think it looks beautiful. I do love white kitchens, but I like colored kitchens too. I mean, it's not like... Probably if I built a new home, I might veer from the white. We'll see. Probably not going to ever build a new home, but you never know. In all seriousness, the kitchen turned out really well. Yeah. Thank you, Phil. I know, man. I love your comments anyway. The great thing about this is you can kind of rip on each other. It's all in fun, No one's feelings are getting hurt. And that's the great part. That's why I love Wednesday nights. But yeah, so black quartz is beautiful. White cabinets, and I do love. It's nice to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, 85 is quite inexpensive. It's pretty inexpensive. All right. All right. The range would stay. The fridge could stay, but doesn't always. Dishwasher stays. Yeah. It depends on the seller. What's going to happen. But Nora, my husband would love the price of your kitchen, right? I mean, when I think about it, it's an incredible price for completing this project the way we did it. So yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. All right. Here we go. My kitchen designer told me appliances are 10 to 12% of remodel. Okay. That's good. That's good information. That makes sense. You know, it depends on what you're buying. If you're buying what I bought from Best Buy, you know, fairly inexpensive. If you're buying some Wolf or Miele or Thermador or Sub-Zero, whatever, probably going to be more than that. So yeah, appliances would be separate. I'm thinking that too. So well, you missed the earlier comments about the mirror, so you're gonna have to go back for those. Um, you know, I never thought putting a mirror in that spot would be that big a deal. No one puts mirrors in kitchens. Anyway, all right. Here you go. Good point from Jackie. People often change their countertop as soon as they move in, so maybe for resale, you shouldn't invest too much. That's a good question. Or you should find the most popular color that appeals to the most of the population, which probably isn't black quartz. It's probably some kind of whitish Carrara marbly looking thing. So that actually might be a better route to go. Or what Jackie's saying, don't spend too much on your countertop because someone might want to replace it. So I think you're safer off with something that more people, more of the population would like, than to go with something more niche like a black countertop. So maybe I'll change my answer to that. Thank you, Jackie. Do you think it's better to buy assembled cabinets or RTA? What kind of price difference? I do think the RTA are better because usually, and you might find this too, Kara, that the quality of the assembled cabinets that are a stock brand, something you buy off the shelf like at Home Depot, they're generally not, the quality really usually isn't that great. At least where I live, and maybe it's a Canadian thing, but a lot of these, and nothing against China, I guess, I don't know, but a lot of that stuff comes from China and it's garbage. So sorry, but that's just usually how it is. So that being the case, like these ready to assemble ones, the ones that I purchased, they're made here in Canada, in Quebec. So, you know, at least they're Canadian made. You know, I know that stuff comes from all over the place, but usually these big container loads of pre-assembled cabinets come in, and the quality is not that awesome. The price difference probably is very similar by the time you buy doors, you know, and your drawer boxes and your cabinets. Actually, probably the RTA would be more expensive overall. That's going to vary a lot depending on the store, depending on the brand. So I think as a blanket statement, the RTA is probably a better route to go, even though the idea of thinking, well, an RTA cabinet is, you know, has to be put together. But I put these together, all the dowels are glued. You know, they're very solid compared to some of these other ones. So that's a really great question though. But I'm thinking the RTA. All right. All right. Yeah, there's a panel there. It's hard to see here, but you can kind of see the thin line coming down the side. Yeah, I would never leave the side of a fridge exposed. So there's a panel there. You can see it, and if you go on the Airbnb link, you'll see some more pictures. So you'll probably see it there. But yeah, there's a panel. All right. Okay. I'm serious about two lights over the, or I'm curious probably about two lights over the, okay, over the peninsula. Everything I'm reading does our remodel is saying odd numbers. Is there some rule number of lights? Let me explain why I went with two. The negative space is 3. And so I just went with the negative space as being the odd number because, yeah, 3 lights would be fine. But in my weird brain, I decided to go with the negative space being the odd number, and that's what I went with. So, and there probably is a rule, but I don't care about that stuff. If you had to remodel it for a different purpose, would you have chosen a different design, possibly with more storage? There's actually a lot of storage here. There is a full pantry. I got tons of drawer banks and deep drawer banks. So I have 2 sets of 3 drawer bank, a 2 drawer bank, a set of 4 drawer banks. I have ample storage. Would have designed it differently? I don't think so. I had a bunch of different ideas for a design, but I don't think I would have designed it any differently. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty happy with the layout. Maybe not. Maybe just put extra storage where those stools are and not have an overhang. Maybe, but yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for being here. The kitchen does look great. I'm really happy with it. So I'm really pleased with the price, even though I went over my budget by like $2,500. What do you do? What do you do? I don't think anybody comes under budget. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. But Phil is on the mirrors again. They put mirrors in buffets so you see yourself and won't eat as much. That's right. There, we're going to go with that. The mirrors in the kitchen so that you don't overeat. And that's fine. HD stock cabinets are straight trash. Yeah, these Euro style ones, though, are pretty good. I'm really happy with the quality of them. But the most of the big box stores, the cabinets that they buy that are already assembled aren't great quality. So, of course, it depends on where you live, where you get them from. There is a company, a local cabinet maker here where I live that has his own line of pre-built cabinets, which are really good quality, and they're trying to compete locally with that. So. Three gaps versus 3 lights. I think it looks good. 3 lights would probably look crowded. Yeah, it's only a 96, 97-inch island. So, again, I picked what I picked and went with it. Seemed to work. And my negative space philosophy is just, sounds interior designish. So I'm going to go with it. All right. I'm going to take one more comment, and then I'm going to jump into some things here, see if we can rifle through some of these tips. My experience with non-kitchen remodels is to add 10%. Yeah, 10 to 15% of what you think would be your budget, if not more. You can aim for lower value, but expect it to be higher. Very good point. Let's just jump over here. So this is how to avoid MTKD's mistakes. How do you avoid going over your budget? Now, all that being said, while I sip this very lukewarm coffee, oh yeah, woo! Not putting it in the microwave. Hi. Like I like iced coffee and hot coffee, but not room temperature coffee. Okay, all right. So, oh goodness. Good comment. MDF versus plywood. What's your minimum criteria on construction? Okay, let me just go full screen. We'll talk about this for a second. My minimum criteria. I am not married to plywood. So that kind of tells you. Most companies make a very good cabinet grade particle board cabinet construction. You'll find them everywhere. Custom cabinets, custom cabinet shops. They use cabinet grade particle board. It is every bit as strong, in my opinion, as plywood. I'll be challenged on saying this, but in terms of just vertical strength of something sitting on it, it's as strong. You can put quartz and granite in any type of hard, heavy, surface on it. It'll hold the weight of that, no problem. I'm not a concern for me. So Particle board. Now, MDF is a different story. Most cabinets would not be made of MDF, but cabinet doors would be. These doors are MDF core, which are thermal coated. The issue with MDF, of course, is that if it's raw MDF and it gets wet, it's going to soak up water. The same with particle board. So having these on a sub base or an adjustable leg, so they're not sitting on the actual floor. So if there is water on the floor, it won't soak up, will help you in the event that there's, a minor flood or something like that, from ruining more cabinets than just your sink base. And then the doors, MDF does not react to humidity and environmental changes in the same way that a solid wood door would, or even say plywood, which doesn't react too badly. But a solid wood door will expand and contract. And then so your doors can warp, your doors can come out of joint, the center panel can come out of the joints a little bit because of that. Again, I live on the water, and so there's a lot of humidity where I live. We live on an island, and we're in the East Coast, northern Canada. So there's a lot of humidity, and MDF does not expand and contract that same way. That being said, plywood is obviously a better choice overall if you want to pay the enormous upcharge for the not enormous benefits. That's what I'm going to say about that. That was a big explanation. I hope that helped a little bit. So I'm not married. Even if I was doing a full custom job, it would not have to be plywood. What brand are your appliances? Oh, it's just, Insignia. I got them at Best Buy. I have no idea. The price was right. That's all that mattered. So hopefully they'll last a year. That would be good. My Ember mug is at home over there, which is that way. I didn't bring it here. So yeah, I have to go with this one. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, let's just jump into this. Sorry if I missed some of your comments. I want to go into some of the mistakes that you should avoid. So how to avoid the mistakes that I made in this kitchen renovation in terms of blowing your budget. Number one is to set a realistic budget. Let's talk about this for a quick second. I didn't set any budget really. I said 6,500 was kind of my budget, but that was just kind of an estimation on the total amount of money I had to spend and what I want to spend on this kitchen. But I never really sat down and went through those numbers really strongly so that I had a real, solid grasp on what that was. So by going over my budget from the start, I probably knew this was going to happen because I didn't really sit down and set something realistic. And by doing that, not tying myself to a number so that now I have to kind of make sure I'm under that number. So I did not set a realistic number. But one of the things to remember is that this is also an investment. And so it's not just a budget, but it is an investment, and we want to make sure that we are investing good dollars to get good value out of something that'll last us a long time or is required for what we're doing. In this instance, this is an Airbnb, and I didn't want dirt quality. I wanted something that was good quality, but not going to be, break the bank experience. So set a realistic budget. That'll be something that'll help you. All right. Number two, prioritize your needs. So, if you are doing a kitchen renovation, any renovation, I guess, it's important to just prioritize what you need in this kitchen versus what you don't need. So in my opinion, every kitchen needs to be very functional. You need to have ample storage. You need to have ample counter surface area, landing area, prep area, pantry space, drawer banks, usability, full extension, things to make the kitchen as functional as possible. And it should look good, at least to your eyes. It should be something that you like to look at and you're happy with. So you have to set those priorities. And I prioritize that. So in this, I definitely did this. I prioritized that what I wanted for this kitchen in terms of functionality, how I want it to look and work. If I decided, say, hey, we moved in here, the kids are gone, Amy and I move over here and would this kitchen work for us? And so I had that in mind when I did it. The next thing you want to think about is creating a detailed plan. So, obviously I did that. I created a detailed plan in terms of figuring out the layout, going through what I wanted it to look like, going through different design iterations, figuring out, what I didn't just walk in here, buy a bunch of cabinets and throw them on the wall, kind of figure it out as I went. I had a really good detailed plan. So make sure if you are doing a renovation for a kitchen that you get a detailed plan. And you think that's obvious, but it sometimes isn't, because I talk to clients all the time and we go through there's two sides of the coin here. Some clients, they're unsure of, what's going to be stored where and how things are going to flow. They just sort of want it to be, bro, chill. They want it to be generally functional, but they don't know the details of it. And then other clients know exactly what's going in every single cabinet, where everything is going to be stored. And so, maybe you want to find a happy medium. I think err on the side of being more detailed when it comes to what you want in your kitchen. So create a detailed plan is very important. Get multiple quotes. This is something that people ask me about too. Mark, should I get more than one quote on this kitchen? And, yes, you definitely should get more than one quote. It's just important to compare apples to apples if you can. Even if you're comparing oranges to apples, at least compare some, comparable things in your kitchen. So even if you go to two different places and it's similar quality, that's at least good. Try to get them as close as possible, and it's important to do that so that you can find out, is this price reasonable? Is everybody close to that price, or am I way up here and this other person's way down here? Like, which one is the better price? The lower price isn't the better price, or the higher one. Which one's giving me the best quality and value for what I'm purchasing? So it's important to get multiple quotes for that reason. Consider DIY. Take this one with, some, I don't know, some wisdom, I guess. If you're going to do DIY, make sure you can handle such a thing. And you can totally mess up a kitchen renovation by doing it yourself, unless you're quite handy or you have some backup close by that can help you out in a pinch. In my case, backup wasn't far, and I could holler to him downstairs or wherever he was. Dad was floating around if in case I ran into something. You should have that kind of situation, unless you're very handy and talented and can handle that kind of thing. But consider DIY. You can save yourself a lot of money on a kitchen installation by doing some of the work at least yourself, even if it's assembling the cabinets or doing the tear out, all that kind of stuff. Because you can hire people to do all that stuff when a lot of it you can do yourself. Time is an issue. You might have a full-time job and kids and hockey practice and soccer and ballet, and you might not have the time for it. But if you do, consider it. All right, number whatever. Keep track of expenses. I keep my receipts, but I don't keep track of my receipts. The only reason I have my receipts is because my dad says, keep your receipts. I'm like, okay, I will, but I'll probably never look at them again. So keep track of your expenses so that you can see what you're spending so that you don't go over budget. Anyway, let's move on from that one. Contingency fund. What's that mean? It means make sure that you have some money set aside for when you open up that wall and you realize, oh, goodness, there's no insulation in this exterior wall. And I wasn't planning on buying insulation, but I need to now because there's none in there and I have to put it in there. And vapor barrier and new drywall and on and on and on. You should have a contingency for that stuff. All right. Rest, relaxation, and I don't know what's the third R. Oh, there's only two R's. R and R. But R is reuse, reduce, and recycle, or reuse, repurpose, and recycle. So if you can, maybe it's a good idea to, recycle some things to save you some money. That's a great way just to, if you have things that still work or still usable, think about maybe reusing them. I didn't do that here. I still have the barn board that I took off the wall, which you've seen in another video. I haven't used it yet. Just didn't fit, and we didn't have enough of it to do what we want to do with it. So I'll repurpose that in a different way. But that is definitely one way we can do it. Cost effective, not cheap. You want to buy cost effective materials, but not cheap materials. I have cost effective cabinets, and they are not expensive, but they're not cheap. They're really good quality drawer boxes. They're full extension. They're soft close, and so I was happy with that. To me, um, this would be like if you're purchasing those already assembled cabinets that you buy at Home Depot they're just not that great quality. That would be buying cheap. I hate to use the word cheap, but that's kind of how it comes across. So buy cost effective, but don't worry about too much about um, buying something. Don't worry too much about buying something that's less expensive if the value's there for it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, no changes. Make up your mind and stick with it and just get it done. We talk about changes, making changes in a job. Every time you do make a change order, obviously in a renovation, that is more money for the installer, the contractor, and for you, because that's just something they charge you for. So if you change your mind and something has to be reordered or redone, that can be a problem. So that's why you have a detailed plan in the first place. That's why you know what you're doing when you get into it, so that you don't have to make as least changes as possible. However, that being said, if it comes down to you're just not going to be happy with whatever the decision is, then go ahead and make that change, but knowing that it's going to cost you some money. But it's okay to make changes, but just be aware. Get into some negotiations. Beat down those people who are trying to charge you whatever they're trying to charge you. Challenge the margins to get the best quality for the lowest price that you can. So it's okay to ask for a discount or a deal, or, hey, I'm purchasing my kitchen here and everything for my home and everything for this renovation. Can I get some kind of discount? Or, even if it's a discount card or something, can I get anything at all? It's okay to ask. The worst they can say is no, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway because you would have had to pay the price of what you were paying. So get some deals when you can. And I know some people are mentioning here, this isn't directly related to negotiations, but Facebook Marketplace is a great place. I got a beautiful, almost new $800 kitchen faucet for $100 because somebody decided they didn't like it after the install and they couldn't return it. So, shop around. Actually, that's one of my points later, but that's just something you can consider. Tell the future. You should know that there's deals coming up. Say you're buying at IKEA or Home Depot or any of these stores. They have usually yearly, twice a year deals on stuff that you should be waiting for if you can. So if you're planning a renovation in advance in the future, think about when you're purchasing these things, and you can save hundreds of or thousands of dollars potentially on purchasing these things when the deals show up. So, hey, right? So think about Black Friday, anyone? Hello. If you have to buy a range hood or appliances or anything else for your kitchen, you're probably going to find a good deal during Black Friday, even maybe on cabinets and countertops. So tell the future. Prophesy. See into the future that there's going to be opportunity, and it might not be this minute, so you might have to wait. Be frugal. Go to that Facebook Marketplace. Go to Kijiji or Craigslist or your Salvation Army thrift store or wherever it is. To buy things if you can, and if you aren't against buying secondhand things, then that's something that you can definitely do to save some money. Be frugal. Try to find deals. Keep your old appliances, or get really good deal on inexpensive appliances. But sometimes you can just keep your old appliances and they're fine. Not every kitchen renovation needs new appliances, so don't think that you have to keep them just by doing a renovation. A lot of people want to, but maybe it's not absolutely necessary if you keep your old ones. You know what? Just cool your jets, everybody. All right, cool your jets. This is a big job. It's a lot of money. For most people, it's the most money they'll ever spend on one thing in their life, unless they buy a Tesla or something. But besides like a car, your home, but to put a kitchen in is a lot of money. It's a huge expense. And so it's okay not to rush it. It's okay to step back, make sure that you get the exact plan you want. You work with the designer that you want to work with. You get the color scheme right. You get the functionality right. you get all these things done correctly. So it's okay to just pump the brakes a little bit sometimes, because this can be an exciting time. We're making decisions and we want to make the best decisions that we can. So just keep that in mind when you're doing a kitchen renovation. It's not a race to get to the end, although we want it to be over usually, especially if it's a new construction of a home. The kitchen is the very last thing usually that is completed. And so what happens is, we just want to get this thing done and over with. But I just caution you on that, to make sure that you get exactly what you want. You spend the amount of dollars that need to be spent to get there. That's reasonable, and you get something that the end product is going to be something that you're really pleased with and can serve you and work for you in the future as being a very functional space. And if you decide to turn around and sell your property, you have something that is someone else can walk into and say, wow, this looks really awesome. And that's also a good benefit and a good selling feature. So if you can just go by those tips, make sure you don't make the errors that I made in not following a budget very precisely, you'll come up with something that's beautiful, I'm sure, without breaking the bank. I didn't break the bank here because essentially this is a rental income property. And, as soon as we get some people in here through Airbnb, then, we'll start to reclaim some of that expense back. And that's the whole point of a rental property, something that will, pay for itself over time. And so when I was purchasing things that I knew was like, well, we didn't really plan for that, it's like, okay, but in the end, this is going to be a really, really nice place that we can be proud of. And so we wanted to do that. That's why I went with the mirror for $99, Phil. All right. Because I'm starting a trend. How about that? I'm starting a new kitchen trend. That's it. The next comment that comes about mirrors, that's it. Why'd you put a mirror in there? Didn't you know? Kitchen trends for 2024. Mirror in the kitchen, baby. Hey! All right. Enough of the foolishness, but that's probably what I'm going to say from now on. All right. Jackie. That's how I got my bathroom vanity. Craigslist, $150 mahogany wood, dovetail closure. Nice. Soft closed doors, Kohler faucet, Taj marble top. $150 is a steal. Good job, Jackie. Yeah. Awesome. I notice you have no reflection in the mirror. Woo. It's a magic mirror. Mark, I got 2 mirrors in my kitchen. You're late to the party. At least the very least, Jackie, I know that I'm on trend. You know what I mean? At least there's someone out there that's also, knows what's going on, and we got the mirrors happening. So I'm glad. All right. Some 10-year-old's going to walk in and break it. Well, I hope not. It's only $99 mirror, so I can replace that. It's not a big deal. We had a mirror because we had no entryway. Very useful. Right? Nothing wrong with the mirror. So anyways, check out the Airbnb listing. It's in the description of this live stream or replay video. If you're watching at this moment, you can check it out, have a look at the rest of the place. And if you're ever visiting Cape Breton Island here in Nova Scotia, it can be an option for you to come and stay. I live right next door, so we can barbecue. So that'd be fun. And there's also a discount code for the doors if you are thinking about not doing a full-on renovation, but you want to replace your doors. If you live in the United States, if you live in Canada or in the UK or elsewhere, you'll have to go somewhere else to find that because they're only in the United States. But I thought, you know what, getting the doors in exchange for the content was a great deal, regardless of the fact that I can't offer it to everybody. So apologize to my Canadians and my friends in the rest of the Commonwealth. But if you are in the USA, you can use coupon code Tobin20 at purchase, and you'll get 20% off. Okay. And thank you to HomeSense for providing me with a very lovely mirror for my kitchen. because honestly, without it, this live stream would have been boring. What else do we want to say? If you have any questions, I'm going to hang around for a few minutes because I'm just loving being in this space. I don't have to worry about anyone else, going to bed or trying to be quiet for me because I'm live streaming. They can be noisy over there all they want. I can hang here for a bit, so I love it. Hey, Jerome. Nice to see you, man. Glad you could jump on, say hi. Can you do more kitchen polls on Wednesdays? I sure can. I didn't do a kitchen poll tonight. I didn't even think of it, actually. But yeah, any particular polls you'd like to see, email me or throw it in a comment of a video. I'd love to put it on. At least we get free healthcare. Well, yeah. We don't, it's not really free. I mean, we're paying for it. But yeah, we do get free healthcare, I guess. But it's not, you got to wait. It's long wait times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. Can you see my reflection? Hey, there I am over there. I got a reflection, Mikey. All right. So yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, nothing's free, that's for sure, Edward. There's always a price to pay. But when it comes to healthcare, yeah, we can go to the hospital, wait 24 hours and see somebody. I'm looking at your kitchen from here. I see the fridge so far away from the sink. Oh, this is great. And the sink so far away from the stove. Do you mind explaining? Sure. There's a perspective issue with what you're looking at. So the sink and the range are really back to back, and the peninsula to the other surface is 42 inches. So I have the minimum, distance between those two things. So they're actually not far away. The refrigerator is only a few steps. The reason it's in that location is because there was no other place for it. So it had to go there. And I couldn't put it on the wall where that mirror is because there's a door right there. So I had a previous design where it was where basically that mirror is. And it was so cramped coming in and out of the back door in the porch that's in the back that it just wasn't conducive. So this way here, it is in a place where it's actually very convenient. It's not far away at all when you're actually in the space. So I thought about turning it, but it made the pantry funny. So yeah, but you're right. It is that the fridge is a little bit outside of the zone. But my thing about fridges, and I'll just explain here, is this. Your refrigerator can be outside the triangle, in my opinion, or within, it's still distance-wise within the triangle, but your refrigerator should be in a place where everyone in your home can access it without interrupting the flow and work of the cook in the kitchen and those people who are working. So if you're in that kitchen working and cooking and whatnot, the kids coming to the fridge, your company coming to the fridge is not going to interrupt you. So it's actually a really good design, having the fridge on the outskirts so that everybody else can have access to it. But yeah, good eye. That's my explanation. All right. Interesting question, Jackie. Oh. Poll, which of Mark Tobin's kitchens we like the best, Airbnb or the one in his house? The one in my house, yeah, it was something that, hey, Rob. The one in my house was something that I honestly didn't put a lot of thought into designing, interestingly enough. But that is a great poll question, Jackie, but I don't want to put that one up there. I just took my house off of Airbnb, so I'll put it up later because I Airbnb my house in the summer as well. But yeah, you can kind of go through that. But look at that in my videos. You can see that kitchen. I actually like this kitchen better. Maybe because it's new. Maybe because it's green. I don't know. I really like this kitchen. So yeah. All right. Yeah, Rob. House looks amazing. I want a muffin. Go visit 20-Minute Guitar Player if you need to learn how to play guitar and support my buddy. All right. I'm so used to everything being white. I'm loving the colors. Yeah. Thank you very much. This was actually Amy's idea to go with these colors. She kind of picked them. I probably would have went white. She's like, let's not do white with this one. I'm like, okay. So we can thank my wife for that. Hello from Minneapolis. Hello. Always fun to hear idea and recommendations. Thank you. And read this community comments. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, we have a great community here on the live stream, and I appreciate all of you who take the time to comment and talk to each other. It's really awesome. It's awesome every week. So, all right. With an Airbnb, it's not like landing area is as important, I think. Yeah, it's hard to say. Landing area is important. The thing with the fridge, I don't think landing area with a fridge is important at all, actually. I know the NKBA recommends having, 15, 18 inches, whatever it is, next to it. But, when you take something out of a fridge, what are you worried about? Burning your hands? Like, it's, just put the milk down over there. It's not like take one step. I can actually reach the countertop without even taking one step from that fridge. That's how close it is. So yeah, I don't know. But I just think landing area for a fridge is overrated. All right, I'll just say that. So that's a great comment though, Jackie. Oh, okay. Yeah. The llama trumps the mirror. I got to agree with you. I love that llama. That's my favorite picture. Mark, did you install an appliance garage? So yeah, that cabinet right there is technically an appliance garage. There's appliances in it. That's where the Keurig goes, and that's where the toaster is, and that's where the kettle is. So technically, it's an appliance garage. And so yeah. Hey, Matthew, cool that you can be here. Better late than never. All right. Ooh. I have a friend who thinks a rental should have non-traditional things so that people can try out something new, like test drive a car. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I just think they need a place to sleep and eat. I guess I could test drive a car. Maybe I was thinking put an Xbox in here. That'd probably get stolen, so don't want to do that. If you really need landing area for the fridge, you should get a cheaper cart. Yeah, park it in front of the fridge. Park it in front of the mirror and wheel it over. Yeah, I mean, I just think landing area for fridge is a little bit too much. Good question. Hi again. Hi. Why did you opt for gas over induction? Seems like cleaner. Well, this is not gas. It's just electric because it was really inexpensive. If I was going to go for gas, of course, I'd have to go with propane because we don't have natural gas here where I live. That would just be a huge expense where there wasn't already propane here. And induction, I probably would have went with, but all my appliances, like if you watched earlier, only cost $1,900. So definitely wasn't going to find an induction for that. All right. How should I deal with a kitchen rebuild with no windows and a low 2.3 meter ceiling, lots of lights? Question mark? Okay. I got to find out what 2.3 meters is in inches. So bear with me because I just don't know. So let me just look it up. What is it? Meters to inch. I should know this by now, but 2.3. Sorry. 90 inches. Okay, so under 8 feet, 90 inches. So, yeah, lots of pot lights. Those, the newer LED pot lights, put lots of pot lights in there, and that's really all you can do if you don't have a window. Under cabinet lighting, you can put in cabinet lighting. I would probably opt for less wall cabinets so that the place is a little more open. And I would add some mirrors in there as well. But yeah, I would say that's what you should do with a lower ceiling like that. Just don't have hanging lights, put pot lights, as many, maybe not as many as you can, but put it enough to fill the space. You can really light up the space with those pot lights. The newer LEDs are great. So All right. Oh yeah, your coffee maker costs more than my appliances almost, Jackie. uh, well, that's fine. Here's a good comment. If you're renting, I wouldn't do induction. Pricey, and all it takes is one renter sticking a pan in cold water, and that warped pan won't sit well in the element anymore. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about that. Who would rent an Airbnb just to cook? Good point. That's why I put a microwave in here so you can cook your popcorn and sit back and relax. Well, this has been fun, guys. It's been an hour 20, so we're going to go on. I'm definitely not going to sip the rest of this very room temperature coffee. This coming weekend, my video is called, what's it called, Mark? Come on, think for a second. Oh, yeah, it's a cheap house, nice kitchen. So I'm going on looking at cheap homes, as cheapest I can find. I got 6 randomly selected states and plus my hometown that I'm looking at the cheapest homes I can find with that have the nicest kitchens. It's going to be kind of fun just to kind of look through. I know we look at expensive $1 million homes to see what the kitchens are, but I want to see if we can find a cheap house that has a nice kitchen so that we can move in to our cheap house and not have to do anything to the kitchen. So stay tuned for that Saturday if you're interested in looking at something like that. It's kind of a fun experiment to see what's out there in the world of real estate. Of course, we'll be back again next Wednesday for the live stream. I don't know if I'll have a guest or not at this point, but hopefully we'll have someone on with me that we can talk kitchens. Of course, you'll be here to be in the chat, and I always appreciate that because it's what makes this kind of go by and the time really flies. And honestly, if I was just here for 3 hours, I could handle that. It's really fun, but I have a family, so I'm going to go hang with them for a bit. So listen, I'm glad you guys could be here tonight. Thank you for being with me in this new place. Again, check out any of the links below. If you want to chat with me one-on-one for your kitchen renovation to get a consultation, that link's down there as well, and we can do that. Always fun to have you here. So listen, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.